something. I haven't been down there in a while.
Yeah, they're
I
fun.
heard that last week. I mean, it was last week. It's like lovely.
Okay, now can you hear this?
Yeah.
Like Jordan.
Imagine being in a car.
يلا يلا يلا
This is all you hear. for hours.
I hear you.
Emmy and I chose to not listen to this, but we should have.
Wait, can I tell you guys the best part about the Jordanian wedding music? Is this the man part or the woman part? I think that's the man part.
Yeah.
It's like 3 days, right? Like it's a 3-day wedding. The first day is just for the women, and he said they just sit around and eat cake. And I was like, I'm all about that.
Yeah.
And then the second day was like for the men, but I think sometimes they invite the women, and then the third day is the actual wedding, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
But I want to have a day before my wedding where all the women just get together and eat cake because it was,
That sounds rad.
Just marry a Jordanian.
I mean, I could just not marry a Jordanian and still eat cake because I love cake.
All right.
We were in the car. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Ben.
I was gonna say we were listening to that. How long was that on in the car? It was a long time.
Like an hour
Like,
because
it
we
felt like hours.
song and then like this whole theme that just kept going.
A
Yeah, it
normal
was so
a
long.
normal song is like 3 to 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
That song is 55 minutes long.
You guys
Amazing.
really had the better experience. Meanwhile, Emmy and I were like listening to Harry Styles.
That's true. We definitely did listen to Harry Styles.
Okay, I'm gonna start this off. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
We
Were we not
planned a
already
trip
started off?
with 56 people to go to Israel to do a 10-day tour with a tour guide from California, a retired couple. Emmy screened their call 17 times. Most of us got back to him after 3 or 4. And we had 56 people planned to go to Israel. We all decided to go a week early to go to Jordan and Egypt. So Ben, Jamie, and I got to Jordan. A day later, Kelsey and Emmy arrived in Jordan. We each did our own little Jordan trip. And then Ben and Jamie and I went to Egypt one day early so we could go scuba diving in the Red Sea. And then we all met up in Luxor, Egypt. So let's hit up, just share our memories of our Jordan trips. And then we can converge in Egypt.
Okay. Who wants to start? Which group?
Well, you guys were a day ahead of us.
Yes, you should start.
We can tell you. You can tell your chaotic story, and we'll tell about our relaxed.
Yeah, Jordan was very relaxing for us.
Story.
So chill.
Our,
So-
I actually,
Just walking through and looking at all the different things and taking our sweet time.
Jordan was not chaotic for us, especially compared to Egypt. It was
Yeah.
pretty chill.
Compared to Egypt, it was
We just were like going a lot faster than we were.
So we arrived, we had a overnight flight. We didn't get a lot of sleep. And we arrived in Jordan at like 7 p.m. or something like that. We're pretty tired, but we decided to go out and hit the town. So we got a taxi to take us to like the downtown of Amman. And it was super cool. It was like a massive plaza.
Did you go to the
full of
room and stuff?
the locals. Kids on roller skates, tons of kids playing soccer on concrete next to some, what was that thing? Like some big
The
amphitheater.
Roman
thing?
like theater, yeah.
And then we went and got some dinner while our taxi driver waited for us, went back. You guys can interrupt at any time.
Our taxi
Um,
driver sucked down a few darts while he's waiting for us.
Oh yeah,
He
he's
did
smoking.
indeed.
They like smoking over there, huh?
they love their smoking. They don't drink, but they smoke like crazy.
Yeah. So we go to bed because of our bodies being all messed up from our flights. I think Ben woke up at like midnight.
Oh yeah, that was miserable.
I think Jamie woke up at 2:30 and I woke up at 3 and we just laid in our beds till 7 when our tour started.
Yeah, I went
Yeah.
out and started watching The Chosen.
So we had like
Israel-
a 16-hour day, I think. 4-hour drive, 4 hours in Petra, couple hour drive to Wadi Rum, and then like 3 hours back, all on like no sleep. But the tunes that our driver was playing kept us awake because they're jamming. So that's the background for our Jordan trip.
Like, can I throw something in? I don't remember what night it was, but remember when we went to that like Roman Colosseum, or not Colosseum,
That's nice.
Roman like
You guys went
theater?
to that in the mall.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like crazy. One thing I thought was really interesting was it was like all the locals. It wasn't like very touristy. Like tons of locals just hanging out there. Like everyone was in the city. It was very interesting to me.
Yeah. No, I
Very
was definitely
different.
the only woman with my hair uncovered. Like it was a bunch of locals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the food, we got like local food too. I feel like everyone in Jordan was like super nice and chill with us. Like I felt like Jordan. I love Jordan. I thought it was like that was great. I loved it.
They were very nice, except for there was one man when we couldn't figure out how to get our car back out of this parking spot. And Emmy was trying to guide me out of it because somebody like double parked me. They didn't leave me enough space, and I was on this hill. And this man came and he was like, "Stop!" He's like, "Let me drive." And he's like, "Stupid Americans!" And he like gets it out.
You
Pulled
said
it
that
out.
in English?
I swear he called us a stupid American.
I think
Didn't
he did.
Wait.
Yeah. He definitely called us Americans. I can't remember if stupid was in front of it, but it was for sure implied.
Yeah, he was like, "You guys do not know how to drive." He's like, "You don't do this. You don't back out this way." I was like, "Did you see the way they like made it impossible?"
Yeah, it was, and it was also like so steep. It was so steep, and so yeah, it was
And then
really.
he like drove. He moved the car, and then he kept going, and I was like, "Did
He
you
drove for a while. We were
Wait, he
like,
got
"We
in
think we
your
just got
car?
robbed."
He got our rental car?" And he just started going. We're like, "Well,"
Wait, why'd you let him in your car?
and then he finally stopped, but it was like he went way too far.
But
He
like,
like
why
went
did you
out of the
let him in that
parking lot
car?
and like around the block almost. And
Hey,
then we were
Like
just like,
following. We're like, "Is he gone? Please stop."
I'm just proud of you too for living the mission rules. So you always have one companion get out and help the other one back out.
It
it
was
was,
necessary. It was
it
the
was hard.
cars parked so poorly by us.
Yeah. The angles were hard and
But
weird.
that man was a saint and actually helped us get out of a really hard situation.
Yeah, I
And
feel like Kelsey actually won him over because he came over like, "You stupid Americans, like, what are you doing?" He's like yelling at us. And then by the end of it, like him and Kelsey were laughing and like, but so
Do you
Really
think
felt
maybe
fun.
he was one of the 3 Nephites? Maybe guys.
So anyway, all the people were very nice. Even he was nice. I don't mind that he called me stupid American because he helped get our car out. So
yeah, he was helpful. But yeah,
Yeah.
I do feel like the Jordanians were so kind and
Yeah.
really-
Speaking of stupid Americans, I actually don't know if this one was American. My favorite story from Petra is we hiked all the way to the end to what's the one at the end called?
Monastery.
Monastery. You know, there's like all these people like going up on donkeys and stuff like that. They're trying to get you to ride the donkeys, the camels, whatever. Also, they have so many animals, so much poop. And we're coming down, and these people are going up, but it's like I think they didn't have people on their donkeys, or maybe there was someone on one of the donkeys. It was like a group of donkeys. This woman's walking down in front of us by herself. She's probably like in her 50s, would you guys say? I don't know how old she was. I don't even know if you know what story I'm telling, but
Oh yeah. I know.
Okay.
I know a story you're telling.
And anyway, one of the kids, he's probably like a teenager or something, or like, I don't know, maybe like young 20s or something. He's riding up on like a donkey. And as far as I can remember, he just smacks the butt of the donkey to get it to like go faster. He yells, she's like, "No!"
He said, "Oh no!"
No. so loud, you don't. And his response to her is like, what? I didn't hit you.
The lady goes, that is a creature.
You don't do that. Yeah.
And then she goes, I'm gonna report you.
To who?
Yeah, exactly.
That's
The
what I
kid
think.
is probably like,
Give him the donkey's license plate. Oh, it was a riot. But then we saw her walking around other places when we were in Petra, and I'm like, what's her story? Like, she's here by herself. I think she's an American. Like, she's a little angry. We don't know her story, but that was
Animal
fun.
rights
Yeah.
activist for sure.
Yeah.
Walking away too slow. And we look into the tank battery.
What?
what was that?
What is happening?
Oh,
Sorry, my videos went on. I didn't know that they would go on. The videos that I opened.
Yeah, Petra was about 100 times cooler than I expected.
very
But
cool.
Yeah.
Feel a lot like Southern Utah.
Yeah, it felt like we could have just saved a couple grand and gone to St. George at the beginning when we're walking down the slot canyon, and then when we got to the
Yeah.
this Indiana Jones spot, I thought, yeah,
It's pretty sweet.
they don't
The
have this in
treasury.
Utah.
Yeah.
Otherwise known as the treasury. I have
Yeah.
a picture,
Kelsey, do
I
you
have a
remember?
picture of my favorite picture that I took in Petra. What were you gonna say, Emmy?
We
About
just
that?
had that video. It popped up on my memories the other day. Kelsey's like, "Wow, Zion's is lovely this time of year," and she's like panning over to me, and she's like, "What do you think, Emmy?" And we are like chatting about the monastery, and they're like, when did we add this to Zion? It's great.
Cool addition.
Yeah.
When did people start taking golf carts in or
Yeah.
Petra?
Camels.
We walked 9 miles in 4 hours and still didn't get to see it all.
That's true.
Amy tracked it on her watch.
Yeah, our guide was impressed when we got back in the car because I think he told us we'd walk like 5 or 6 miles, and we told him we walked, I think it was like 13 kilometers or 10, or I can't remember. Yeah, he was impressed. So,
But you guys didn't see this.
what is this?
The best view in the world.
He did. He took us to the best view.
Did you
Did you
guys
see
see
these
that there were
signs?
like 40 of those signs that were like best view ever, best view in the world?
Don't miss it.
Yay.
I don't know how to stop sharing on Zoom. Oh, stop share.
My favorite story from Wadi Rum, we went to Wadi Rum next, was yeah, as Tim said, we walked like 9 miles in 4 hours. And it wasn't like hot, but it was like 80 degrees or something. So we get to Wadi Rum and they tell us we're gonna go on a Jeep tour, which is actually just a Toyota truck with like some things set up in the cab to sit in.
Yeah.
It's like 2 hours. I'm like, oh great, they're just gonna drive us around for 2 hours. This is gonna be so nice. We just sit down. No, it's like we drive 2 minutes and the guy's like, get out and like jump, like take a picture of her and jump. And like none of us wanted to jump. And I was like, fine, I'll jump. Like he drives us like 5 more minutes. And he's like, climb up this hill. And we were like, no, but we didn't. Didn't want to say no. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. Like I want to roll down. And I think I said like, I'll pay you guys, like they were walking behind me, Tim and Ben, like $20 or something if you roll down the hill. Just keep walking, don't pay attention. And then all of a sudden Tim's like rolling past me. And then almost rolls off the cliff.
So did you pay him $20?
No, he said I didn't.
I almost rolled to my death because I got dizzy and started going crooked.
Yeah.
Would put
But-
a damper on the vacation.
Yeah. Anyway, that was my Wadi Rum memory. It was a great time.
It also looked like southern Utah,
But
but
did you watch The
little
Martian
bit bigger.
or Dune on your plane ride home? Because that was kind of cool to be like, I've been there.
yeah, it was cool to see where they filmed Dune and Star Wars.
They
and
filmed Star Wars there?
Martian
My
and
favorite
Lawrence
part of Wadi
Arabia.
Rum was watching the sunset and the sunrise. Like the sun was so big, and that was definitely the prettiest sunrise I'd ever seen. Except Kelsey and I kept asking, like, is it already up? I feel like we missed it, which I don't know. We thought we missed the sun, but
And Emmy's, those were her two favorite parts. When I was trying to get her sold on Water Room, I was like, they have sunrises and sunsets, and those were her two favorite parts. So.
Kelsey Markle pulls me and she's like, guess what they have in Wadi Room? They have a sunrise and a sunset and stars. And I was like, only place in the world we could do that.
Seriously, what an amazing sell. There's nowhere else in the world you could see that.
They were pretty incredible. She was sold. She just said those were her favorite parts.
Yeah, and then I, ate my words because that was actually one of my favorite parts of the whole trip. I really loved that. So you were right, Kels.
Always right. But it did look like Southern Utah when they took us on like a little slot canyon. I was like, this is cool, but also I feel like I'm in Utah right now.
Yeah.
I feel like we missed one key thing so far. And that
Okay.
is Kelsey's luggage situation.
It's because we haven't gotten to
It
Egypt
hasn't
yet.
happened yet. Kelsey
Oh,
had
it hasn't happened?
Jordan.
No, I think this is
Oh,
Egypt.
Yeah.
It's
I did
dirty
not know
dogs.
that.
Which is why we'll never
I-
get our souvenirs back either, because Kelsey like haggled for us and got a bunch of great souvenirs in
I
Petra.
got so
and-
many great things in
Oh,
Petra.
I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't
and
know.
all of she got stuff for me too because I was too scared to talk to people. It was all in her luggage.
Mm.
Never to be returned.
Yeah.
Wait, should we jump to Egypt then?
I think so.
Stop it. Sorry.
Oh wait, the 5-legged donkey.
What
Was that in Petra?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was at the monastery.
Cool. I feel like there was something else to share about. You didn't have anything to share about with Petra, Emmy? Nothing happened. Oh, another guy who was rude to me in Petra, because I asked him what price it was, and he was like, then he told me the price. I was like, I was unsure if I wanted it anyway, so I was like thinking about it, and then I decided not to get it. He's like, it's okay, my stuff's too expensive for you, so you can just move along. And I was
Yeah.
like, that's a new tactic.
Shaming you.
He was, I think he
Go
said
on,
he was
shame
good enough for
me.
his stuff.
That's
Or something like
amazing.
that.
I was like, I make enough money for this. I just don't want it. And I'm like, why am I defending myself against this guy?
That was pretty funny. Yeah. We also
right.
had a funny experience in the airport with a customs guy that was really obsessed with our dimples. He told Kelsey she had a dimple and she was like, no, I don't.
He liked your dimple. He was like, dimple.
Yeah.
And then he
Handed
answers
me my
like that.
passport and he was just like, dimple.
Did he learn the word dimple at like English class or something?
He asked me what it was. He was like, what's this on your face? And I was like, oh, it's a dimple. And he was like, oh, you should smile with your dimple.
He was totally hitting on Emmy.
Oh,
He also told Kelsey she had a dimple and she just was like, no, I don't.
He's just
mean,
he's just hitting on the girls.
the whole
He's
like
really
So
nice.
funny that like he just said dimple probably 15 times in the like 2-minute interaction we had with him. And then he just like that was literally the last thing he said to us. He handed us our visas and papers and was just like dimple. And I was like, thanks.
free.
Oh man.
Speaking of airport security, don't even get me started on Egypt.
I think Egyptian airports are like a special circle in hell. I don't know. They were bad.
I can't remember how many times you have to go through security, and then you like get to security, and you're like, wait, I thought I went through. Like, I've already had my bag searched multiple times. I don't know who's the actual security at an Egyptian airport.
Someone's just pretending to be security to look through your stuff.
Well, I remember when, like, okay, I know I'm skipping ahead, but we were flying from. I actually don't know where we were flying from. Maybe from Luxor to Cairo, and like we went through like that first thing. Was that where we had like show our boarding pass to get in the airport?
Mm,
And
Sounds
and then we
right.
had that area before we had to go through that first one, and then you guys had
yeah.
down in he was from Ben Valentine. But then when we went through like real security, and then like Ben and Emmy were like walking off with this guy, like he was taking your back, and I was like, oh, they have to go for more security, but like he was just asking you for a tip because you can't tell who doesn't.
Yeah. he was an airport worker, and all of a sudden it's
Yeah.
like, what in the world? I'm not giving you money. You walk 10 feet.
Stole my bag.
They
Yeah.
they unzipped and checked our bag twice
Mhm.
within 15 feet.
Yeah.
And I had to write down my passport number twice within like 15 feet also.
That was my favorite is when I started filling out. I had to write your country you're from, your passport number, your name, and I look at the line above, and Ben wrote his country was Ben Valentine. So
was
I
so
wrote
funny.
my country was Ben Valentine from the same country.
I just die because it's like airport security and it's like a clipboard with a white blank sheet of paper, which is some stuff on it. There's no lines, no anything. So when I saw this, no one's ever gonna look at this. I just made up a passport number. I'm like, I'm not giving them my real passport number. What is this?
Uh,
So we go to
Freaking
Egypt, and I get
Egypt.
first class, business class, on the way to Egypt, and I thought I was living high. Then I landed.
Yeah, how did that happen, Kelsey, again? How did you get first class and I didn't get a ticket on the plane?
I bought the last ticket. I didn't know I bought the last ticket on the flight. And Emmy had to go. Oh, she had to take a taxi by herself in Egypt to get to the other terminal.
Yeah, that was traumatizing, but I
Made
survived.
it. And I paid for my sins by losing my luggage. Are you happy now, Emmy?
I am sorry you lost your luggage. That does suck.
So
But like Febreze.
what?
I said, luckily we had some Febreze.
Luckily, Jamie packs 2 of everything.
That's true. You're welcome.
Gave me 2 pairs of garments, and Emmy gave me her shirt, and then I wore that for the rest of the trip.
Remember your first night? You had to use Jamie's swimsuit as your
So
underwear.
that was the second night. The first night, my phone
The
charger
leopard.
was broken,
The
and
leopard
I couldn't
skin.
find my luggage. And I was gonna cry. And then the next night, I washed my garments and I wore Jamie's swimsuit. She's got an incriminating photo of me in my swim. I don't know what Jamie just said.
I said you better be nice.
So
That's me.
Ben and Jamie and I went to a city called Hurghada in Egypt on the Red Sea, and we went scuba diving, and all the people on the crew were awesome and so cool and so friendly and didn't try to jack us over for any money. The only people we met in Egypt that didn't try to jack us over for money.
That is true.
One of them looks like the Egyptian version of Davis Irwin. And 2 guys wore Batman suits to scuba dive.
With capes.
It was amazing.
That was a
And
good time.
you guys talk about the scuba diving, Ben and Jamie, while you find a photo.
I was gonna say how crazy it is that we ran into people that didn't they go to BYU or something like that?
No, we had in our little, like, there was a bunch of people on the boat. It was a big boat, but they had like a guide who would go with different groups, and there was the 3 of us and then these 2.
Oh wow.
There's Jamie's Frenchman.
Hey, that rated weird something.
What I was saying is the other 2 guys who came with us were from Spain, but one of them had studied abroad at the University of Utah.
Hmm.
Miguel, right?
Oh, that's right. That's what it was. Yeah.
So he
Yeah.
lived in Utah. So he, like, when we told him where we were from, he's like, "Oh yeah, I know where that is." Like, it was bizarre. But there were people all over the world on that boat. I think we were the only Americans, and there were probably like 30 people.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just small world. There's always like little connections like that. So interesting.
Yeah.
We took a boat. Everything was just dead, barren desert. We went like an hour to this island that was just barren, no life at all. And then we went down scuba diving, and the whole thing was just coral. It was kind of cool. Like up above, it was just straight rock, and then below is coral and fish, and it was super steep, like a steep cliff of coral with. We saw some pretty cool stuff. We saw a big sea turtle, some eels. No hammerheads. We wanted to see a hammerhead, but we didn't.
Lots of tropical fish.
Yeah. And then we took a 4-hour car ride from Hurghada to Luxor with our driver who had been smoking all kinds of cigarettes.
Maybe other stuff too.
The whole van just smelled like crazy. And after like 3 hours, he told us, well, we stopped at this little rest stop that was kind of a dump, and you had to pay money to use the bathroom. So I decided to hold it because I didn't support their antics.
Oh,
I believe
whatever.
you said. I believe you said, and I quote, "I will poo my pants before I pay you to go to the bathroom."
And I meant it.
Jamie, you're hard to hear sometimes. I don't know why.
Oh, can you not
Yeah,
hear me?
It's whenever anybody
It's like-
talks, you get cut off.
Well,
it's like cuts a little bit at the beginning and
apparently my audio is not prioritized.
Uh, you're always spoken over.
So we drove 3 hours, and our driver's like, "Hey, you guys, there's a road for tourists, and there's a road for local Egyptians. And if I take the road for the local Egyptians, it's going to save us an hour. But they
You
can't
believe that
know
there
you're
really
in
was a
here.
separate road?
So you guys are going to have to duck, get in the back." And the van had like blinds or whatever, curtains. So he shut all the curtains, and he's like, "When I tell you to duck, duck at the checkpoint, so like the officer won't see you." And he did that 3 different times where we all had to like duck, and we're like ducking down in the bottom, and he goes through some checkpoint and a couple times talk to someone. And then he told us that if he holds a cigarette in his hand when he goes past the checkpoints, then that's a little trick for them to think that there's no tourists in the car because he's smoking. So that was his little trick. And then I was in the back trying to film Ben and Jamie, but my flash came on my camera. So I'm like brightening them in the face. There's a light in the back of the van while we're going through a checkpoint.
Yeah, I was mainly worried. I was like, well, what happens if we get caught? Like, I was like, are we gonna get like arrested? And he's like, no, no, no. I have money here. I pay the bribe. I was like, okay, paying the bribe, but not.
So then we got to Luxor. You guys got to Luxor. So
Sans luggage.
Kelsey got there with no luggage. And then what?
What was day one? We went to Valley of the Kings, right?
I went to the tombs.
Which
Yeah.
like everyone said how hot Egypt is, and I don't know why, but I guess I thought when you went underground in those tombs that it would be like in a cave when it's cold. Those tombs are like a sauna. Like 102 degrees of Egypt felt really cool when you came out of those tombs. That's like one of my core
Like
memories.
very dusty saunas.
Yes.
I swear those mummies gave me a cough for like the next 3 weeks.
Really?
A picture with me and Emmy to commemorate how hot and sweaty we were.
It's a really nice photo.
Very hot, very sweaty.
that gives a good depiction of like crowded, sweaty. You can't breathe in there,
Yeah.
but it was really cool.
But
Though.
it was so cool. That's a lot of people. Did you guys take that when you guys left me to go to the bathroom?
And you wouldn't let us come find you, or you wouldn't let Tim come find you?
Yeah, because that's at the top of the restaurant.
And I was just wandering around looking for you guys, thinking.
And then when he
Really?
found us and he was like, "Oh, good, you're smart."
And I was like, no, I texted her.
You're smart. You just knew where to look in this place you've never been.
Oh, that's a cool picture. I don't remember that. Where was that one?
Inside
Going to one of the tombs.
yeah.
Be
That's-
cooler if that dude wasn't in it. You know what I mean? It's so
Yeah.
hard. It's so hard to get good pictures because there's so many people.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I think the crazy thing to me was that actual colors in some of it stayed like thousands of years old, and there's like still color, like the ceiling.
Yeah.
So cool.
And then my favorite was the guy who was standing up there taking pictures of this, and he would ask you if you wanted your camera so you could take a better picture of that. A
You know,
high
you're for money.
The
Let's
whole
talk
country is about swindling.
let's talk about Ayad, our tour guide for 2 days.
I got a
Okay,
picture of you and Ayad. Where is it? My favorite picture of you.
I was gonna say initially Ayad was like, I remember when he picked us up and he just like walked through the crowds. I was like, this is amazing. Oh, I love that picture of me. Thank you. I
Look at,
like,
you're supposed to look at the wall, not you.
but I mean, that encapsulates how hot it was in that freaking room.
Yeah.
I had a man on a mission. Like he had no time for nonsense or for us and all of our talking and taking pictures.
It's like, wait, and I will let you take pictures all the time. And we just wanted to take pictures or talk or see things. Where is it?
King Tut.
Yeah, he just
Here it is.
he just like the whole time, yeah, he had his agenda and he wanted to say it. And even if we're the people that paying, we didn't want to see it. He didn't care or hear it. He didn't care. He needed to say it.
He is a
Yeah.
robot.
Frustrating.
Yes.
He-
Tim,
Yeah.
Wait,
I have a
robot.
picture. I have a picture to share with you and him. But you're
Okay.
sharing it, I can't share it.
How he was actually really impressive, how he spoke 5 languages or 4.
Yes. Yeah, that was wild.
When he said like, okay, his story was actually wild. He said he used to be a tour guide for he speaks Japanese because he had Japanese tourists, but after like Arab Spring, like the Japanese tourists didn't come anymore. So then he learned Russian. But then after the war in Ukraine, the Russians don't come anymore, or the Ukrainians. And so now he's doing tours in English. And I was like, well, I mean, hopefully after the war in Israel, people are still coming to Egypt, or he's going to be out of his tour guide business.
I wasn't as pressed as you guys with all the languages he spoke because I could only understand 25% of what he said in English.
I was impressed by him. I just like this was you trying to listen to him, and I think you were like, okay, I'm gonna do a better job this today, and then you listened to him for like 2 seconds with that look on your face, and then you were done.
I liked it when he'd say north, south, east, west.
How often did I never heard him say "weast"? But I
I
also
did.
never noticed church until you said it, and then I
Cherish.
noticed it, and it bothered me.
The Christians came here and they built a church inside of the temple.
And he kept telling me that he knew somebody who was at the airport, and they would help me get my luggage back, and he was entirely useless, but he did have a good heart. So
Do you think he was not? Do you think he was lying?
I feel like they all were lying.
Okay, because I definitely thought he was lying and just trying to get you to like stop asking. And I was like,
I liked it when he's
Oh.
like, "Don't worry, this happens all the time."
So
You're
consoling.
American, you'll get it back. Lies.
oh, I know. He was like, you're American, you have an American passport, so you'll be fine. And I was like, oh, it's not really helping so far.
Also, when he told the story about how his parents lost their luggage and got it back 8 months later, and I was like, how is this helpful? Stop.
Yeah.
You know,
Actually gives me comfort that I might still get back my luggage. So
Yeah. At the time, it was not hopeful.
it wasn't, but now I'm like, I'll get it back. I'd still like to get it back. The first day was also when we went to the got all the stone stuff, and all got
we got swindled for that. Because then it turns out it was everywhere.
Yeah. I feel disappointed on that one. And when we were like haggling, he told me like each one of those little things I got, he's like $20. And I was like, okay, I'll walk away. I come back and like he had raised the price, like doubled the price. Like what the heck? And then Kelsey, when you're trying to negotiate with him,
That was the best.
and like you'd like say ask the individual price of everything and add it up, and it would be less than the total of everything together, and you're like, it makes no sense. Like we want this price because
You don't understand.
yeah, he was not getting it at all.
But also, like, because Kelsey was so firm, he then like Ben and Tim and I were just standing over there, like not talking, and he kept coming over and trying to talk to us. And Ben and Tim were like, "No, talk to Kelsey. No, talk to her, talk to her." And finally he was like, "Oh, is she your manager?" And they're like, "Yeah, she's the manager."
But we all got nice sodas. Remember the sodas that were free?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I also do like my little candle thing. I
Love
wish I
it
had
as
status
well.
for it, but I do like it.
I
Yeah.
actually think that was worth it.
I wish I hadn't gotten the Morton pestle. I don't feel like I'm gonna use that, but I really like my little candle.
I wish I'd gotten 2 candles. Oh, I didn't know you took that picture. Look at that.
I gave
Oh, I
him my,
remember.
Your hat and your
my hat, my
sunglasses.
sunglasses.
Oh my gosh, do you remember this guy that he was like so nice and he was like, "I'm just, if we can just all leave with a smile, that's all I really care about." And after we were haggling prices and Kelsey was chatting with him, he was so serious and Tim was like, "He's not smiling anymore."
And he's like,
Yeah.
"We don't barter here. We only give you one price." And then they bartered like crazy.
Oh man, that was so funny.
Yeah, we got
This is-
swindled hard.
I
This
think-
is the temple of Queen Hatshepsut or something.
Hatshepsut. Wait, can we, because I have to leave in a minute. Can we jump ahead to when we were sitting in the van and that guy came up?
Yeah.
I got that video.
All right, let me swipe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me swipe through these photos I took real quick.
Okay.
Oh, those are great.
Yeah, it was so crazy
Gorgeous.
seeing
Oh
all that
wait, this
stuff.
is also when we started talking to them about the slaves, and he was so angry that we ever dare mention that there were no slaves.
Yeah,
Very
very
happily served.
Yeah, slaves wouldn't have built something this nice. And I was like, it's not what they said in the 10 Commandments with Charlton Heston.
What about the people
I
of
just thought-
Israel? Well, that was different time. There were no slaves during this time.
I thought his explanation of why was not great. It like makes me feel like someone's pushing an agenda. Like the government's like, you can't let people think that we had slaves or something. That's what
There's
it
a
felt
boy.
like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, who's got the video of the creepy Creeperton?
I got the video. Well, let me look it up really fast.
I liked when well, I can't remember a guy's name. What was his name?
Ayad.
Hey,
When Ayad was talking about the 53 United States. I thought Tim, I guess you didn't say this, but I thought Tim corrected when it was like 51. Would have been amazing.
that's not showing the right thing. Wait, no, it's-
There he is.
Oh my gosh. Wait, can you get sound?
I just closed the blinds in front of his face.
That is-
I don't know how to do sound.
Oh,
Oh,
it
it
is
was-
there. It is there. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Should I close the blinds?
Oh my god.
Then he goes down to 2. Okay, 2.
Got the blinds, Kelsey. Just for a second.
Oh, shoot.
The best you have on script so far.
I'm about to close the blinds. I'm reaching over.
Kelsey, you didn't get on video when he blew me a kiss?
I didn't, I guess.
There is a video of that. I've seen it somewhere.
I just closed the blinds in front of his face. That
Uh,
guy's so uncomfortable.
It was so funny.
he was the happiest man I've ever met. He
Oh,
was,
we
just
didn't
hap-
really meet
he was
him.
happily negotiating with us without us talking to him or communicating. He's like, 3, okay, 2.
Selling. Saw what he was selling. And I honestly feel bad that we didn't give him some money for his entertainment value because he was a big
We
one.
were all laughing at him.
You're laughing with him. Because he was smiling too. Anyway, I got to run.
That was-
This is great. Please do not tell the story that I think you're going to tell while this is recording.
I was not going to tell that story, but now that
We
you're
won't.
in Girls
No,
Fair
not-
Shut it up.
Game.
Thanks,
Please.
Jamie.
Bye.
No promises from me.
We didn't
Bet.
tell the story about the
Ben-
man who chased me down.
if you want this Ramses, which PS, to make sure you tell how we got swindled there, how I walked in and said, no one feign interest because this is staying.
Yeah.
And then we walked out with 7 bottles of perfume.
Yeah, I need to get my perfume from you guys still.
I have
Oh,
it.
Jamie, I have your compression socks.
Yeah, I haven't seen any. Oh no, I've seen Kelsey. I haven't seen any of the rest of you since
No,
they got
I'm kind of sad we didn't get together in person. I thought we were going to.
And Kelsey has my GoPro charger.
I do. I have
Okay.
that for you.
to exchange. I'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye, Jamie.
I was going to talk about the guy who chased me down with the cat. And
Oh yeah, that was good.
the last $2, or like at the last second,
Yeah, that was.
to exchange. Jeez.
That was
Yeah,
good.
tell us.
Ah! My cat, man. Such a grumpy cat. Speaking of cats,
Are you gonna tell us the story, Kelsey? Are you just gonna
I feel like
disappear
you're
in the
fighting with your
pyramid?
kids right now.
my cat just attacked me.
So
Because I
Kelsey is
cut her
obsessed
off.
with cats. She has 2 cats, and she wanted to buy a cat souvenir everywhere we went.
That is, oh, dang it. I can't pull my blinds shut anymore.
There's sphinxes, there's pharaohs, there's camels, and everywhere we go, Kelsey wants a cat.
This is a better version than the version I would have told. That is not true. I just wanted a cat. And then I decided to get a second cat because I have 2 cats. And so you guys were always walking so fast through everything and not letting me look at things. So Ayad would just book it through every single store. And I was like, but I want to actually want to shop. I want to look at these things. And so we were leaving the 1 tomb area and I was trying to like get the cats, but you guys were all continuing to walk. So I was like, well, I guess I'll just keep walking. So this guy takes a handful of cats and starts following me. And he starts at $20, which is the
25.
most. Was it 25?
Yes.
Which is the most absurd number you could ever throw out for a cat.
That's
And
like this big.
he's like, how much do you pay for that? And I was like, $2, which is $1 actually too high. But I said $2. And he gets down to 15 and then 10 and then 5. And then I'm in the car and the
We're getting
door is
closer and closer to the van, closer and closer to the van. We're all loading up in the van. You're the last one in the van. You're getting ready to shut the van door.
and he says, fine, 2. And so I said, okay. And I hand him the money and he gives me the cat.
Like as the door's closing, it was like his hand just slipped in.
That was the best negotiation I've ever seen in my life. From
Practicing.
$25 to $2 in like 30 seconds as you walk and get in the van. That was really telling to how much their stuff actually you could
I
get.
know, and I tried that later, but like in at the pyramids, but that didn't work at all. Actually, they were like
Wow.
solid on their prices.
Tim, that's such a great photo of us.
Yep.
What a cute! I was
You're
thinking,
so
what a cute
happy.
cute photo of you two.
Why were we so high?
I know that's not what you were trying. That just sounds like you were saying something else. Why are we so high?
We did a hot air balloon ride.
Yeah,
We
that
were
was,
so happy that it started at 4:30 instead of 3:30.
yeah, that's true. We were pumped about that.
That's the Nile River behind us, right by Ben, huh?
I loved the hot air balloon ride. I thought that was really, really fun.
It was so incredibly hot on my bald head. When they pulled the thing and make the flame go, it was like burning me.
Also, remember the guy with the camera when before we took off, he was like right in Ben's face, and Ben turned around, and the light was right there.
They're filming us to try to get a video for us to purchase from them. So they just walked around, filmed us, and try to get us to like be happy and smile, and we're all just tired.
Because it's
It was-
4 a.m.
But then they started targeting me. I felt like because I like danced or something.
We should have bought the video just so we could see them just following us around, close up footage of our face, and it had nothing to do with the hot air balloon.
What did you say, Ben, when you turned around and saw him there? Because it was like so funny and so unfocused.
I don't remember. Yeah.
You know the moment I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. I remember the moment. I just don't remember what I said. I
It was so funny.
think I
There's
might have
one
just
about
said
it.
like, "Oh gosh," or something like that, because he like shined a light
Oh
right in
yeah,
my
that's
face.
right. You did say that. Oh gosh.
That was really funny.
So that was that the Valley of the Queens we're looking at right there?
Oh, that's a great photo.
Might be.
Just a bunch of tombs everywhere. There's the Nile.
We got across the Nile in a boat. That was better than our river cruise.
That was better than our
Oh
river.
my gosh, the
Look at
river
those chicken.
cruise.
Look at those sausages. It looks like something
We
was
talk about
murdered
the
on that
river
thing.
cruise at some point.
Let's talk about my chicken hot dogs.
Oh
Chicken
yeah,
hot dog,
remember
that's what it
you
was.
said that those
And
were
the
amazing?
breakfast. We haven't talked about the Karnak temple yet and the secret place they took us in the Karnak temple that they told us was worth it.
Remember Jam Corner?
Yes, I remember Jam Corner.
That's one thing that was good about the hotels in Jordan, Egypt, is their breakfast. Their free breakfast is way better than any continental breakfast
I
in
feel like
America.
Egypt was lacking a little bit, but Jordan's was great.
Yeah, I did like Jordan better.
There's the video of Ben trying to get into a portal, time portal.
Yeah.
We almost made it.
Yeah, let's talk about the Karnak Temple. I'll
Emmy
find
wasn't at.
photos while you guys talk about it.
Um,
Emmy didn't go because her foot hurt.
I wasn't there for that, so you guys have to chat about that.
look, well, I was talking about the secret place they let us go where I got on the seat of the statue, and then you guys followed my lead, and they got mad at us. We still got some good photos. But the
Well, the
Karnak
thing
temple
about
was-
it is the guy who let us in, they just got some like fencing from who knows where and put it between two like pillars. And he acted like he was some official tour guide, and he wasn't. He's just some random guy walking around. And he's like, "You want to see a secret?" He like opens it and takes us to show us some statue where there's like 100. There's like 100 other statues of it,
and it wasn't even nice.
and then he just like
Smelled
tries
like
to get
urine
money.
over there.
He's trying to swindle us right and left.
But the Karnak temple was so cool. The tall columns that were massive. I'm surprised Ben's not going off on those right now. And then the altar
Sorry.
that we found with like the symbols.
Yeah, that place was mind blowing. Like seeing those massive pillars is so crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love Karnak Temple. I think that was my favorite thing. I think that was my number one,
Yeah,
even
Karnak
more
temple was
than
my
the
number one as
pyramids.
well. Those pillars were just blowing my mind. I was like, I don't know how they did this.
Yeah,
And I don't think anything like really funny happened there though.
yeah.
Besides
But it was
the
just so cool to see.
I mean, you guys did take a picture of that blind man. That wasn't funny, but that was nice. Or not, that was maybe not nice isn't the right word. That was sad.
It was, yeah.
So this is where they said they would build like mounds of dirt up to the side of the structure to do construction on it.
I don't remember that.
It's because you
Either, but
stopped listening to
I did stop listening to him.
him. We all took shifts, remember? We're like, each of us has to listen to him for 1 hour.
But he followed me
Yeah.
around that museum and he did not let me go. He always found me at the museum. And
Ben's
somehow
like,
Emmy just like sneaked away and he never said a word to Emmy.
Ben is like, we
I
just
would-
want to walk around and look and not talk.
He could not
Okay.
handle that.
Then he just walks up to Ben, immediately follows him, and starts explaining the next thing.
He's like, okay, I'll let you guys go.
So these massive pillars all used to have a roof over them, right?
Yeah. What's nice is when we first got there was no people there, but he wouldn't really let us take a ton of pictures. So then when we got done, there was a bunch of people there.
Kind of hard to tell from the photos too, but they all had carvings on them.
They were so cool.
Yeah, they were
I
massive.
forgot what it was like to be warm. I loved that picture that he took of us.
Tim, should we talk about what we tipped him at the end of our trip? I don't know if you remember what we ended up tipping him.
Oh, I remember.
Wait, can we go back? Will you go back to that picture so we can better explain the tip? I think it'll at least my part of the tip. I tipped him some breath mints at the end of the trip.
Oh my gosh.
And what did you tip him, Tim?
I tipped him a 12-month subscription to Hooked on Phonics.
You guys.
He was nice. He just needed help on his vowels. I couldn't understand half of what he said because his vowels would get all jacked up.
He was like super nice, but I just think that he just had a small case halitosis, not a big deal. I just want to help him out.
It took me about 5 minutes once to understand when he said earthquake because he said earthy quake. And he kept going, and I took all my brain power to like process what he had said. Remember, he said flooded for flood. If a flooded comes here, then they need to build it up higher because there's a flooded, but it's not very deeping.
Deeping. You guys didn't tell the dart story.
This is the tallest obelisk in the world, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Something was massive that they had to cut out of a quarry like 100 miles away, somehow transport, and then get it straight up. I don't know how the heck they did that. What story, Kelsey?
This dart story.
Oh, yeah, our oh, that's kind of cool. You guys notice this one? The one where the two guys have their arms on
Yes.
Oh
other
yeah.
guy's shoulders outside of the Holy of Holies in the temple.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty sweet. So the same driver that drove us 4 hours and made us duck was our driver the next day. And we stopped for lunch and we were walking in and I was talking to the driver. And all the girls were in the front with Ayad, our tour guide, and then there's Ben and there's me and the driver. And I'm talking to the driver and Ben's like 5 feet in front of us. And right in the middle of our conversation, Ben stops, turns around, and points to the guy and yells, "How many darts do you suck down in a day?" And of course, the guy didn't understand him because he doesn't know what darts means. He doesn't know that Ben means cigarettes, and suck down, he doesn't know either. And Ben said it like 5 times louder than he anticipated. So Ben was like shocked at himself, and I was too because it was so random. And I stopped my conversation with the guy and just started laughing. And Ben and I were just laughing our heads.
Yeah, that one I threw myself off on that one for sure.
How many darts do you suck down in a day?
I love that.
Oh man. Here's the one that Kelsey jumped up on. And there over there was the portal Ben tried to travel through time in.
Yeah, there's the portal.
Make it. There's the altar.
This is the altar inside the Holy of Holies.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy to think they built all this stuff like 3,300 years ago or something, I think they said.
So wild.
There's a section that still has the roof. There's all the sheeps.
Rams.
I don't remember any of the symbolism.
No.
There's that blind dude.
Did you ever see a picture of the blind dude, Emmy?
Yeah, I've seen that photo. I thought I saw him. I don't remember if Tim just showed me that photo or if I saw him in person.
You didn't see him because he was at the Karnak temple. What other stories were there? I don't think anything else happened in Luxor. I think then we went to Cairo, right?
Yeah.
I guess the last day we all went to the pool, or we had the great story that Jamie won't let us share. But nothing else to share.
All right, let's talk about the dinner cruise then when we got to Cairo. Well, we should also say when we got to Cairo, after being reassured several times that her luggage was in the Cairo airport, Kelsey went and talked to them to no avail.
And my luggage was not there. And guess what? That's where it ended up being, was in the freaking Cairo airport.
And the next day, you went there again and they couldn't find it.
No, they told me it wasn't there. But now they're telling me it's in Cairo, but they've stopped responding to my emails. So I don't know that I'll ever get it.
Who's to say it ever was in Cairo, though? I mean, I know
They
keep
said that they found it in the Cairo airport. They were the ones who said it. They
I
sent a
don't know if
picture
they
of my luggage, so they have my luggage. And for
Oh,
whatever
they
reason,
did
I want
send
to
you
keep my
pictures.
luggage. I need to call the Salt Lake Airport. Maybe it's in the Salt Lake Airport right now. I'm gonna call them. I have a video of them singing at the I don't know that we actually want to watch that though. The guy singing on the dinner cruise.
Oh yeah, he had so
Huh?
many good covers. Like,
Yeah, we want to watch that.
Okay.
The
Let's
guy
play
looked
that.
like Mr. Bean.
yeah, he like pointed at us in one video. Remember?
Yes.
It was so loud in there and so crowded. And remember when they tried to seat us right next to the dessert table,
Yes.
like on top
Yeah,
of the table?
I think their goal was to put as many people in the most uncomfortable way inside of this room as possible.
That was the most gimmicky, dumb, touristy, lame thing I've ever done.
And I
Yeah.
really wanted to go home and go to sleep.
I know.
Yeah.
The food was
Whatever,
decent.
Kelsey, you're singing your heart out the whole time. You were loving it.
I decided to turn my time around because I was this close to tears after losing my luck. That was the only time I was like about to cry. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I just want
Yep.
clothes. And I need a toothbrush. I don't have a toothbrush anymore because I stupidly threw it away thinking I'd have my luggage back.
Did you go shopping when you got home? Get
No.
clothes?
No.
Nice. Still waiting.
I still am waiting. I bought some stuff.
You
But then
still only have 2 pairs of underwear.
No, I didn't have all of my underwear in my luggage, but I have a lot less than I used to. I need to go buy more garments. But
All right,
I-
let's see the lounge singer.
obviously you can tell I'm singing by the fact that it's swaying or dancing or something.
Can't hear it.
Yeah, I can't really hear it. This reminded me of the Booze Cruise episode of The Office. It was like the Egyptian booze cruise.
What song is he singing right now?
I will survive.
Wow. That was classic.
Tim got into it.
Like, did you guys notice those people walking by how they're not walking normal, they're like sideways because it's so tight. Everything was so packed. You can't even tell from that video how extremely uncomfortable it was.
And the whole place smelled like smoke.
Yeah.
And the food was very average.
Yeah,
If
just
that
Yeah.
even.
not that good buffet food. What about
Oh, I thought the hummus was good.
the you have the belly dancer on video?
Oh no, I didn't want to do that.
I didn't film that one either.
That's okay.
I got that one lives rent free up here, you know what I'm saying? I'm just kidding.
You went back to Luxor.
That was the last picture of Luxor. Now here's the dinner cruise.
That
Then the
was
next morning, we took a tour of the
sweet.
pyramids
The fact that it was just like the city and then the pyramids right there.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
cool.
that's so weird.
with our tour guide Asma, the lady that you guys loved.
Oh, she was nice.
Tons of people everywhere, very crowded. And then we paid a little extra to go inside the big pyramid, and that was
Which she
sweet.
told us not to do, but it was definitely worth it. I do have a video of us climbing up it, but we don't
Oh, yeah,
need to watch
that was wild, like climbing up it and then trying to get down it.
It was very tight and confined.
I thought it was so cool.
I thought it was so cool too.
Each
Like-
block of the pyramid is like way bigger than I ever expected to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that like it's just so interesting that I don't know, it's crazy. You're like inside this massive ancient building.
Yeah, one thing that we were talking about too is that when Jesus was in Egypt, those pyramids were already ancient.
Yeah. Which
Wrap
is
your mind
weird to
around
think.
that. What did you say, Ben?
What?
What did you say about it? Wrap your mind around that, or how did you phrase it?
I don't remember.
Sounds like something he'd say.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
That was a
Cute.
good one.
Oh, look at this.
Another Amy pic selfie with a boy.
Another cute Emmy pic with a boy.
Oh, we look good, guys.
Ben nicknamed his camel LeBron James
I forgot about that.
Why did you nickname him LeBron James?
because it was big.
I thought
It was
that
the
his
biggest
name was
camel.
LeBron. I had no idea that you just nicknamed him that.
I got an old one that's ready to die. It could barely walk, and it kept tripping, going down the steep hill. Kept stumbling and tripping, and I'm like holding on for dear life. And the guy's like, "Don't worry, don't worry." I'm like, "What do you mean, don't worry? My camel's tripping. I'm gonna fall off." It's easy for you to say, "Don't worry."
And mine and Jamie's took off running at one point, and I thought that was part of the ride. Like, I thought that was intentional. They started galloping, and I was like, "This is cool." They didn't do this because Kelsey and I also rode them in Jordan, but the Jordan one was like so peaceful, and this one was different. But yeah, when they took off running, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is cool!" And I realized we weren't supposed to be running.
It felt pretty gimmicky. Like you can tell it's just there to get us good pictures, but it was incredible still. I
Yeah,
still loved it. Like I really enjoyed it. That was fun.
we did get cool photos from that. So
So there's 3 big pyramids and then 6 small ones, right? So at one point we could see all 9.
oh yeah, they took us to the place where you could see all 9.
There's one of you, Emmy.
Oh, that's a good one. I love the faces camels make. I was like surprisingly very charmed by the camels on this whole trip. It's the smile of the like face. I don't know.
They got long lashes.
Yes, they just are surprisingly cute.
There's the Sphinx.
The Sphinx is cool. I wish we had kind of walked around that a bit more, but I guess you couldn't really walk around it anymore.
Yeah, I would have liked to, but like they seemed like they didn't want us to go over there. Like
It was
Kind of
weird.
rushed too.
mhm.
Legit
Here's
rushed
where
to
you
get
guys-
here.
Here's what you guys all. We were determined not to buy anything because every time we go on a tour, they say we're just gonna stop for a refreshment. It's always a shop where they try to sell you stuff, and so we ended up all these different shops, and they're trying to give us free drinks, and we're trying to get out of it so we don't feel obligated to buy anything, and we're all getting pretty good at turning them down, and then we show up, and this guy slowly just cracks all of you to where you're all just throwing down cash right and left for these perfumes.
I'll say this: he was the best. He was the best negotiator out of anyone we had on the trip. He started throwing things in for free without anyone even having any resistance. Everyone was already gonna buy stuff, and he's like, "Here, take this, take this."
That
Like,
was the best part.
okay.
Was we just started taking stuff off the shelf and put them in the box, and he didn't
He's
charge
just like,
anymore.
okay, yeah.
He also had the best comb over I ever saw.
I still am shocked I never saw this. Never noticed this.
Yeah, that was funny. We all vowed we're not buying anything, so we're so sick of people trying to sell us stuff, and then we all walked out with tons of stuff.
We're like,
Except for Tim.
hook me up with another Fanta. Bring another Fanta. We're buying stuff.
Then she took us to the museum where they again talked our ear off, and we didn't even get to see everything.
Yeah,
Still
I
a
kind of
little
wish.
bugged about that.
Me too.
I wish I'd just
Like,
been like,
just
I don't
stop.
actually want to hear you say a single word. I'm just gonna go walk around this museum.
I'll read the signs because there
Like, you
are
don't need
signs on
me to go
everything.
around. You don't need to tell me about the stuff at this museum. I'm not gonna remember anything you
I
say.
think they're
And I
just
want to
trying
go
to
look at
archive
things.
it
I
or
want to go
whatever.
look at the mummies that we never got to saw the mummies. Never got to see
Yeah.
the mummies. Oh well, it's fine. Still was a great time.
I'm gonna select a couple more photos.
Then do we end with a video of us on the airplane flying away from Egypt?
Yeah,
my-
let's do that.
That was, I know that was a crazy ride, but I was so miserable. I'm pretty positive I had a fever on that flight and that it broke while we were on that flight. And that was like the worst plane ride of my life.
I do feel like we need to touch on a couple things that anyone that is watching this doesn't realize. Do you want me to say it now, or
Yeah.
so at this point a war broke out in Israel, and
Oh,
we were
yeah.
planning on going to Israel after Egypt. So the plan was to go to Israel after this. When we were in Jordan, the war broke out, and so that the Israel part of our trip got canceled. So then we made an impromptu trip to Rome or to Italy.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because we're on vacation, going nonstop on these tours, but also trying to figure out what we're
Where
gonna
we're
do
going
in a
next.
couple days because we have flights to Israel that we can't go on. So we're trying to scramble and make other plans while we're on vacation. So our trip to Israel with the 56 people didn't happen, and we were the only ones that made it out close to that area.
Yep.
Here's where I realized Egyptians also had cankles.
I know you took so many pictures in the museum. You have a picture of that massive fish?
Oh, the mummy, the fish
Yeah.
mummy.
Here's where I learned that their dogs used to wear scarves.
Yeah,
That had the organs of King Tut.
The King Tut thing was really cool. That was way cool.
It was very cool. Like seeing all that ancient treasure and then
Yes.
having been in the room where it's like it's a teeny room. It's a teeny room with tons of treasure in it.
these were the little sarcophagus things with organs inside of them when they mummify them. It'd
I
say
think
their
they said the
organs.
organs are still in there. Didn't that what they said? At least
Yeah.
in some of them.
There's our lady. The lady, the girl pick.
Yeah, she was nice. I liked her.
There's the guy that we knew not to mess with because we knew
Oh my god, she looked like he would kill us.
he's taken a life at least once before in his life.
Yeah. One of the priests of
Yeah, the priest of Baal.
yeah.
We
Like
knew not to mess
I
with
got a
that guy.
feeling when I saw that guy, I knew he'd killed someone before. You could sense it. You knew. But he was on our team, so it was all right. But I knew that guy's killed someone. I guarantee it.
You don't cross that guy and get away with it, that's for sure.
Well,
What's this?
No, please.
you bought cake for us.
A pyramid cake, chocolate
Yeah.
cake.
Oh, we all
Yeah.
sat in the airport forever and there was no seating.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And Emmy was about to die.
Yes.
Oh,
I
that's
felt really
lovely.
bad because I was being so quiet, and I'm really sorry for that, but I really thought I was gonna die. I honestly was like, if I pass out in this airport, I don't think anyone would do anything. Like, I know you guys would, but I feel like everyone else would just go about their business if I was like on the floor of that airport.
Here's the thing.
Ben,
Believe me when I say I understand. I was dead for a couple days too.
Yeah, Ben gets it, and I'm very sorry about that.
No, that's not your fault.
Ben,
Right.
here's a hot dog filled with chocolate. Remember,
Yeah.
a hot dog bun.
Look at the joy on your faces.
Yeah, you guys look so happy.
Like, how often do you find a hot dog with the hot dog's chocolate? Hot dog bun. It was so awesome.
All right, Kelsey, you
Um,
got the video of the flight. This was the craziest flight I've ever been on.
I got 2 videos.
I think this is a good ending.
I can't, like, watching these videos, I can't believe I slept through this. Like, I think that's how dead I was. I was like literally asleep during this
Not
whole.
not one single parent controlled their child on that flight. I can't believe you slept either, Emmy, because there were 2 kids in front of you and they stood up the whole time and they kept looking over at you and they're shaking the chair and walking around.
I think
I
I was
couldn't believe
delirious.
it.
Like, I was like aware that was happening, but also I like wasn't capable of doing anything about it.
I've been on a lot of flights and never, ever has anything come close to this flight. It was bonkers.
This has been the terrible food that was on the side.
Oh yeah, those sandwiches that they had everywhere in the Middle East were not my fave. Like one bologna and one cheese. That was like every meal.
The unk.
No one looks very happy to be eating that.
And then this is the second photo. We got to turn this on to max volume.
Yeah. You can't hear it.
Just
Right.
kids climbing everywhere. Yeah, there's Emmy trying to sleep and that kid just
Totally
looking
zonked
at
out.
her.
As crazy as this video is, it doesn't even do it justice. It was crazy. There were kids everywhere running around, climbing over seats. It was
At
so
one
loud.
point, when a child's pants fell off, and you could
Yeah.
see his private parts. His private parts.
They
Like,
took
naked kids
over.
running down the aisle. Wasn't there like a kid hanging from one of the
Yeah, it's like suing. It was
overhead?
wild.
Yeah.
Like, what? Who lets a kid climb up on the armrest and open up the overhead bin and start looking for stuff mid-flight?
I was thinking, I'm like, oh my god, I feel like I could have stayed in Egypt like 1 more day or 2 more days. Like I was like really enjoying myself. After that flight, I was like, I never want to come back here. I can't do this level of chaos. That was the worst part about Egypt, was that flight.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's probably
We
because
were
it
all
was a budget airline. 2 days before we bought those tickets 2 days before we were gonna leave or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was really last minute.
And the rest of the time we were in business class, so we didn't know any better. Or we didn't know any worse, I should say.
Oh yeah, did we ever confirm, like, was it our flight from Luxor to Cairo that someone told us that like the prime minister was on our flight?
Yes.
Did we confirm if that was the prime minister?
I
I
mean,
don't know how we do that.
I would presume it was because he said he got in a car and then drove away.
Yeah.
Well, we were stuck on the plane for like 15, 20 minutes in
Yeah.
the, like, just
To get
stuck
him
there while
off.
he's driving away.
And we all wanted to have a chance to speak to the prime minister because we knew in 5 minutes we could improve their country by like 10 times with just a couple of simple things.
And possibly get my luggage back.
Yeah, that's a suggestion.
Oh man. Well, thanks guys. Thanks for reminiscing.
Yep.
Yeah, it was
I
good
know
to
we
see
missed
you.
stuff, but it's hard to pack it all in.
Oh, actually, I have a list of stuff I wrote down. Let me
So
see.
do I.
Oh, here's one thing that we missed. When we got in Jordan, our first morning, me and Ben got in the back of the car and Jamie got shotgun and we're driving down on our way to Petra. And Jamie's just chatting with him and like she turns her head so I can see like the side of her face from the back seat. I'm like, Jamie, what are you doing? She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, what's up with your glasses? She had lost a lens out of her sunglasses and didn't realize it. So she had one lens of her sunglass and the other one no lens. And she looked like one of those people that would wear like glasses with no prescription just to look cool because they're wearing glasses. And she didn't even know that she was like white.
Uh,
Oh, Ben, we forgot to talk about the most gentle soul.
I
Yeah. Forgot about that. We did meet the most gentle soul.
The
Jana.
guy at the hotel that did the laundry service. The most soft, gentle, caring, empathetic man I've ever met.
Yeah. Big teddy bear.
I almost cried when I met him. Like I don't even have any like emotional baggage or problems or anything, but I wanted to just like have him like embrace me in his giant bosom and just cry.
Yeah, he was just a big old teddy bear, man.
The large man, in the words of Ben, he eats a lot of falafel. And then Ben would say when I'd talk to him on the phone, because I'd call a number from the phone, Ben would say that my voice would get like super soft and quiet.
It was so weird. Like you have your normal like levels that you're at, and I've known you for a long time, so like I know what those levels are, and out of nowhere you'd just be all soft and gentle, and I was like, what is going on? Because I didn't know who you were talking to on the phone. It's like this is so weird. I
He's
found
the
out
only
later.
he's like the only guy in Luxor that never tried to swindle us out of anything. He just wanted to help us, and he's so soft and nice and gentle. Great guy, not good at math. He was really bad at math when it was time to convert how much we
One of
owed
the
for the laundry.
one of the worst people I've ever met at math. Real bad.
I did have the story about when we went into the tombs and there was that guy trying to fan you down and you got left alone with him. And you were like, what's this on the ceiling or whatever? You were like trying to like find other things because he was trying to fan you. What was he trying to do when we left you alone in the room with him? Remember that guy?
Who was it, Ben?
You, Tim.
No,
You
it's you.
Oh, yeah, because it's so hot. He's got a little piece of a box of cardboard and he's trying to fan you so you'll give him a tip. So I was just trying to get the heck out of there so I didn't have to try to pay him anything. I can't remember. I think I was trying to distract him so I could leave. One thing I like doing though is when they come up, someone's trying to sell you something, they come up and start trying to start a conversation to break the barriers down. And they always ask where you're from. As I threw off a guy real good. Remember when I said Provo? And he's like,
Oh yeah.
what? Is that in Europe? I'm like, no, it's Springville, Provo, Orem, Linden, Pleasant Grove. Then you get to American Fork. He's like, oh, okay. And he just like, he couldn't handle it. So he left. Like I turned the tables on him.
So funny.
All right. I have two quotes that I wrote down on the trip that Ben said. We can end with Ben's quotes.
Perfect.
All right. One goes like this. If life doesn't throw me some lemons, I'm still going to make some lemonade. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it means now, but in the moment, it made perfect sense.
I'm going to steal that quote. I love that. Be like, as Ben Valentine said, if life doesn't throw me some lemons, I'm still going to make lemonade.
Okay.
I stand by it. I stand by it.
I don't remember the exact context on this last one. Maybe you'll remember Ben. This is what Ben said to Jamie. I trust you with my life, but not with my drink.
I still remember that, but I also stand by that one. I stand by it.
I don't know if you had her hold your drink and she almost tipped it or she almost bumped it over or something. I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah.
All right.
Nobody comes up close quite like you do, Ben. Those two were.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Hope you have a wonderful day, and see you on my next podcast.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Yep.
Peace.
See ya.
Bye.
Creepy Creeperton. What's up, buddy?
Can't even look. Can't even look.
Open up those blinds.
Should I just close the blinds in front of his face?
He's giving me a kiss.
Should I close the blinds?
Shut the blinds, Kelsey. Shut the blinds on him.
Wait, should I
Do
go?
it. Do it. Shut the blinds.
Mean.
Shut it. Shut it. Shut the blinds, Kelsey. Just for a second.
Oh shoot! Now she's looking at me. Stop turning. Stop turning. Close. Close it.
This is the best things ever on this trip so far.
Wait, I'm gonna have to close the blinds. I'm reaching over.